Hi, Rich from Mustangs here. Today I'm with Mark and we're going to show you how to measure the car to get these things set up for our new MTF subframe assembly. So Mark's going to start off with some measurements right now, show you where we start off and go from there.
First, you want to get a rear measurement and make it level side to side. It don't have to be level front to back, just side to side is your main thing. And you want to go off the same point from one side to the other. And this is right at 20 inches or 21 inches. And we've already measured the front at 21.25.
Now, take note of where that's actually being measured at down here, is you've got 3 layers of metal. So this is actually the inner rocker is where we measured at. So you got the inner rocker, you got the outer rocker, and then you got the torque box. So just keep it consistent, and it's probably better to do it with the front too.
And there's a big issue is keeping record of all these measurements. You want to write them down on the car, front to back, every measurement you can. That will be used for reference when we go back together.
Now,
next we want to measure the front top of the core support, which we've already got it, and it is right on the money at 43 inches. And it measures the same on both sides.
so we know we're level on the front.
And then we want the frame rail over here.
Now, factory frame rail is 2 3/4 thick right through here. Ours is 3 inches, so we want to make sure we get our measurements off the top, not off the bottom.
And like I said again, we want to write these measurements down so we don't have any mishaps going back together. And next, we want to get a measure of the core support from the front edge of the corner of the cowl to the front.
Right there,
To the front of the core support,
front of the core,
using the bolt holes as a guide.
and then write your measurements down.
And you write your measurement down on the cowl, where something you wouldn't be destroying.
And then do a cross measurement. This is just to make sure everything's square. So we're going to measure from the same point on the corner of the cowl.
To the center of the bolt hole. And you want to do the same thing on the other side, using the same side of the tape.
Yep, so you'd go back the other way. All right. And this is just squaring it up, right back here to the corner,
And that puts it right on the money.
to that corner right there. So we can see we have the front end is square. So that's our measurements on the front. And that's what you want to do before you ever take anything off before that subframe assembly goes in. Now we're going to wind up doing this in segments. So this front end will come off. We've got another car with the front end completely off. Then we'll be ready to slide the subframe up under that one and show you how we're going to attach it. What else you got?
That is it.
Okay, here we are now. We've got the full subframe assembly. We got the jack under it, and we're going to push this thing under there and show you how this is supposed to go in. You can't have this completely down on the ground. It's got to be up in the air so we can get it back there to get the bolts lined up in the leaf spring. So right now we're going to push this thing back and show you how we do it. Okay, now we've got this pushed back. We got 2 bolts. It's going to go right back into your factory leaf location. It's going to go all the way through just like that. Now we're not going to tighten these down. You can put your nuts on there, but we're not going to tighten it down until we go up front, get everything lined up. So now we're going to go back up to the front and we're going to check our measurements. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and jack this thing up in the front, get it up where it needs to be.
That's good. And as you can see, it fits very nicely up against the factory floor pans on both sides. And we'll go back and refer to these measurements that we have right here that we wrote down. That is this car's frame rail measurement. That is the top of the frame rail. And it is 26 1/8, just as it is on the other one. And this side here is 26 inches, just as it's wrote down over there on that side. And that's how nicely our frame matches the factory frame rails.
Now, if you notice also, we have a flange on here. So when you're ready to put either our engine panels or you can use your factory ones, everything lines right up. This all lines right up for your factory rear panels, and then we put our front ones right here in the front, and we'll do another segment on that, on how to install our engine panels. Okay, now this subframe assembly is going to come with the jack pad, already welded in, a jack pad with the tie-down hooks on it. It's got the sway bar brackets, those are already welded in. The cradle's welded in, and it'll have the motor mount brackets welded in also. This one don't, because it's a 5.8 and we haven't done a 5.8, so we're going to make the brackets, and then once we make them, then we'll be able to start producing them, and they'll be already welded in there also. So everything comes complete. This is really just plug welding now to the floor, and plug welding to the firewall, and just make sure that you tighten those bolts up back there in the back, and probably weld around those. I would suggest welding those around, and then you're good to go.